Necromancy, a brand new combat skill for RuneScape, was just revealed. And this is without a doubt the biggest change to combat since the dreaded Evolution of Combat update, which shook up the game forever. But unlike that update, will this skill turn out to be a net positive for the game? Stick around to find out. If you've played any form of RuneScape, old school or RS3, you know that there are many different ways to play the game. Most of the time, there's really not a lot of common ground between the three major activities or playstyles: skilling, combat, and questing. Well, until now, Necromancy seems to be trying to majorly appeal to everyone by offering an alternate means of leveling up than just combat: performing rituals. And for those completionists who prefer questing over everything else, the lore behind Necromancy certainly doesn't disappoint. A new city has been added for this skill and it seems pretty empty, until you gain some experience. Then you'll be forging relationships with the dead or undead and helping repopulate the area, if you catch my drift. Speaking of populating a dead area, if you like this video so far, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out. Necromancy introduces a whole new aspect to combat. You'll get to summon undead minions to assist you in battle, all the while blasting your foes with necrotic magic. This new combat style could revolutionize how players approach battles in RuneScape. Think about it. Not only do you have the traditional combat triangle to consider, but now you also have Necromancy, acting as a sort of wild card. It sits outside the current combat triangle, something that has been entirely unheard of in combat up until this point. And I think it could shake up the meta entirely. It also has the potential to change how players strategize and play in PvM and PvP scenarios. But it isn't all about combat, and it seems the developers really thought about the skilling community with this update. Rituals, the skilling component of Necromancy, allow you to level the skill without engaging in combat at all. This opens up a new world for the large number of players who prefer a more laid-back playstyle. Plus, this is a unique on-ramp type opportunity for those players who have been curious about combat but found the barrier to entry a bit too high. Strict skillers might be inclined to give combat a try now since they can start strong instead of fumbling through low levels. Now, if you're intrigued like me and are wondering what you need to know about the skill to prepare, here's what you should consider. To start, let's talk about the lifeblood of Necromancy: bones. They're the cornerstone of your rituals, the raw material for your undead minions. Every bone holds potential powers, so start gathering them now to fuel your dark rites down the line. Moving on, your spellcasting is only as good as the gear that you're equipped with. Certain magic armors such as Spider Silk, Mystic, and Robes of Subjugation have already been mentioned as integral to your journey. And speaking of gear, don't fret, your existing hybrid gear has not been left in the dust. Items like the Essence of Finality and other hybrid gear will work seamlessly with Necromancy, which means you probably have a good bit of high-level gear for this skill already sitting around in your bank. There will also be a brand new Kiln Cape and Zuck Cape for the new skill, and yes, they are purple, with the existing magic variants being changed to blue. Any current Zuck Capes will be broken into parts, and you'll need a Necromancy Zuck Cape in order to craft the hybrid cape once again. A solid tip: go get your Igneous Stone now, since you don't actually have to beat the fight with Necromancy to make the cape. Then, on release, you'll only need to do the fight kiln once. Of course, we can't forget about the runes. The Necromancy skill introduces a new type, and they aren't your standard runes, but instead are filled with a darker power. They'll even get a special ammo slot item like a rune pouch later on for safekeeping. For those of you already experienced in Herb War looking to push your power over the limit, overloads are making a strong return. And when I say strong, I mean very strong. With Necromancy scaling up to 120, overloads will provide a huge benefit. And as a hot tip, stock up on existing overloads now, because once the update drops, they'll be converted, saving you the trouble of having to craft extreme necromancy potions for the new recipe. Finally, no necromancer is complete without mastering the dark side of prayer. The coveted tier 99 prayer is a must-have if you want to min-max. Unlocking it, however, will require the use of Appraisal Codex. If you're keen on acquiring this power, bear in mind that the Codex is likely to skyrocket in price with the upcoming update. Necromancy is set to be a game changer for RuneScape. Its focus on both combat and skilling, its depth, and its fresh take on the RuneScape world could make it one of the most memorable skills released in history. I, for one, can't wait to see where this journey takes us. Make sure you're subscribed to follow along as we explore it together in future videos. And as always, we'll see you next time.